Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Jennifer?
I'm good. I was like, kind of like, should I just stay home and do it from home because it's snowy? But then I'm like, it's not that snowy. Quit being a loser. So
Hi, Fran.
Good morning. I was just thinking I should have updated my picture and had snow in my backyard.
I still thought it was funny. Who said
Margaret.
Margaret was like, "Oh, look, you're sitting outside, Fran." And we were all like,
She said you're a brave woman. I'm like, no, that is my backyard, but it's a picture. We should have everybody except Earbob.
Hi, Rebecca.
Hello.
I need to do something with my background. I'm getting tired of my same office look. So
Go for a virtual background.
I need to do that. I just haven't taken the time to do that. I need to be creative. That's not in my DNA, I don't think.
I downloaded all of these backgrounds and then it doesn't, like my computers, it just doesn't work. Like I had the Golden Girls couch, I had like Harry Potter, like I had everything I could think of that would be funny and I just can't get them to work.
Golden Girls. That sounds funny.
Yeah, like you could look like you were sitting in the living room or on the lanai.
I like that.
It's the only way I'll ever get a lanai.
Where do we get the minutes in the agenda again?
so easiest way to do it is go onto our city website
Yeah.
and then scroll down next to the calendar. And the
Okay.
first next to the calendar should say Business Development Commission.
All right.
Click on that. And then over on the right-hand side, you'll see a little place that has a PDF link where
Okay.
you can download the agenda and it has the minutes attached.
Okay. Thank you. January 28th.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
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 Be 2021. Feels a lot like 2020 so far. You guys having a good week?
Not too bad, you know.
Yeah.
Snow was kind of a nice surprise, but that's all I need for the winter. Like it was nice to have one day and now I'm done. That was cool. Thank you.
That was good. Yeah.
Hit your
Not
quota.
looking forward to Saturday, though. It's supposed to be really rainy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Rain and thunder.
So is it warming up, I guess? Is it supposed to warm up tomorrow?
Next week, warm up, and then I think cold again.
They were saying snow again Sunday. Rain Saturday, but snow Sunday.
Oh, boy.
Jeez.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. Fran, who are we waiting on?
We should have everybody except Earbob.
Okay. Tim getting on.
Hi, Tim.
Morning, Tim.
Hi, guys.
So are we just missing Pam Niehaus now?
I think right now we are.
Yes.
Give her a couple, want to give her a minute or two?
Sure.
I just wondered if Webster was experiencing abduction of catalytic converters. I just read about a crime on one of our chamber members in Shrewsbury. Allen Outdoors had their little fenced in area broken into, and they stole 2 trucks, and he's been hit twice now. So
Animal hospital, two cars.
Yeah.
And we shared it on the Facebook page after it happened. It was one catalytic converter was taken and one wasn't attempted. And it was on the news recently too.
Yeah, it happens a lot. I deal with it with a lot of my insureds. I mean, especially the ones that are contractors and have big yards and trucks and stuff like that, or big vehicle fleet, because they'll go in, they'll cut them all out, and then get in and out pretty quick. There we go. What time is it?
it's 3 after.
Yeah. I don't know. Do we want to get started? Pam, we can catch Pam up, so that way we're not all waiting for her. It's, we have a quorum, so let's call a meeting to order. I wasn't at the last meeting, so I did review the minutes, but do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes.
Second?
I'll
A
second.
second.
Okay.
A
All in
minute.
favor?
I got more than one there, and they were all at the same time.
Kara.
All right, we'll
Very
do
good
Kara.
second. All right, all in favor of approving the minutes? All right, looks like we're all in. I didn't realize that the visitor comments were we were waiting on Mayor Welsh, and so I don't see. Is she on the Webster Groves? No, is she coming on, or should we skip her?
Maybe move on and then we can always go back to her.
Okay.
Who is the person identified as Webster Groves?
That's just our setup in council chambers, but I can't share my screen if I'm in
Oh,
council chambers. And so
Okay.
Joanne and I set it up and then we walk downstairs or to our offices.
okay,
So that's
Alright.
just where it's originated.
okay.
Okay. Good deal. Jennifer, you want to talk about the Webster U video project, kind of where we're at with everything on that?
Yeah, so the students finished the videos and they were put on Explore Webster. It looks like they did pretty good. I noticed the dining one got a lot of likes and shares. We were assigned 2 more people for this semester. So I have their names. I have not gotten a chance to speak to them yet, but I spoke to the professor. And so they're ready to go if we have 2 more ideas. I know that one of the ideas that we had kind of talked about in the group that might work for spring, like we had talked about gifts because of Easter and graduation and some of those gift holidays that come up, Mother's Day, things like that. It's probably too quick of a turnaround for Valentine's Day. We talked about desserts because there's cravings, and I don't know if Froyo, that one bakery, I'm not sure if they're ever going to open, but I did see recently that the Cake Pops place is going to open, but I don't know what their turnaround time is. And then spring planting, I think, was another idea, but I'm not sure if anybody has any other ideas.
I'd hold off on desserts. Le Macaron has inspections. We did drywall nailing. We did rough plumbing, mechanical, electrical. So they should be open soon. And then I learned about Cake Pops going in on the same way that everybody else did when they announced it. So they haven't met with me. I have an email address. I was going to email her and just say, hey, how can I help you? I know where they're going. And it sounds like from what it was before, they're going to need a lot of construction. So I would say maybe hold off on that one so that we can kind of bring all that together with both those new businesses.
Okay.
I like the idea of spring planning. I mean,
Because
coming
we've
up.
got
is-
Maypop and Rolling Ridge. It's 2 stores, but I feel like they could both kind of show what they offer and what they specialize in. And
Yeah.
You could also bring in the hardware store
mm,
and
yes,
tie that in.
Oh, definitely. That'd be a
Third one.
great idea. How about Rogers?
Oh, and you could do yeah.
Yeah, Rogers would be good.
okay, I like that idea.
You know, you can do a gift shop theme at any time, I think. Because there's so much, and you get bigger, you get to showcase more businesses because there's so many businesses in Webster that would qualify. But it doesn't have to be around Mother's Day or Easter. It's always, I think, a good time to showcase those retail stores and sort of miscellaneous.
Okay, I think that could be a fun
So-
one. 'Cause I know we've got the embroider the occasion, and then I'm blanking on all the names. There's the
Story 7.
store. I'm like, I know it's got the number 7 in it, and I know like what's the store that's across from Novel Neighbor that used to be the resale store.
Oh, actually,
Dahlia.
she's more of
Like
Home
home stuff?
interior.
home interior.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
But she could
Union
use some
Studio-
publicity.
yeah, she's got like candles and little things like that you could definitely. Okay. I will give them those assignments and we'll see what they can come up with.
Good deal. Okay, and then does anybody else have anything they want to talk about as far as on the video project? Or should we move on to the holiday promotion? All good? All right. Joanne, do you want to talk about the holidays real quick? How that wrapped up?
Yes, so I was hoping that we could also talk to all of our members here and get some ideas about your thoughts regarding what was used as advertisement mediums and things like that. Also would like for you to think about this for the future, not anytime soon necessarily, but what are your thoughts about the advertising on KMOV versus KTVI, et cetera, et cetera? Just for ideas. I don't know how many more necessarily. It really depends on who watches what TV channel. I know that I did see the ads on KMOV just like I did on KTVI, but I was looking for them. So just wanted to hear thoughts and comments about that, as well as other ways in which we were able to advertise. I'm hoping that by the holidays of 2021, we won't have the craziness of COVID-19 so that we actually have activities happening that we can go back to our holiday calendar and all that kind of stuff too. But anyway, I'm just open for comments.
When we advertise on the TV stations, does that package include like their social media sharing and promotion on there too?
Yes, so KMOV did that this year. They also did, and I'm suddenly forgetting the name of the event that they have at 9 a.m. every day. But our mayor was on that on November 30th. And so they did a short little snippet and I had a video of that. I don't remember if I sent that to you or not, but if you want to see it, I'd be happy to send it if I hadn't. And also, I was going to have Mara share some information because unfortunately, there's no opportunity really to get feedback except from talking to you and others in the business arena. But again, there's no data really to collect, but at least on Facebook, we can say whether we had more likes and views and all that kind of stuff. And so I wanted Mara to share a bit of that information with you today.
So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. So on here, just as a reminder, this is our Facebook page. with all the information. Right now, we're promoting the A-list and getting businesses nominated on the A-list. And then other things that, promotions of things that we've had in St. Louis Magazine, STL Today. We're trying to make sure to Ladue News. We're trying to make sure to keep posting all of those about our businesses. But we wanted to share a couple things. So this is the general insight that lets me go back 28 days. So it would be right after the holidays ended. But it shows that we were up from December 31st to January 27th. We had another 220 page likes, which was up 850%, probably because there was a little bit of a lull right after the holidays. You can see videos are probably one of the biggest ones. 14,549, I think, views. Shows post engagement, which was up. Our page followers were up. Our overall post reach. But because that wasn't really enough information, it only goes back through December 31st. I went to another screen where you can go a little bit farther back, and you can see the difference between, here's our paid reach, which was from around December 13th through right after around December 25th, 26th. And then it sort of goes down with a little bump right at the New Year's in that weekend, right after, I think, New Year's Eve or week. And then again, paid reach in through here. So you can see the reach is very different for our paid versus our non. And then you'll see our reactions, big bump for some reason in that first weekend after the New Year. Same thing with reactions and our total reach. Our total reach, I was trying to see what it was January. So January 3rd might have been when we started posting some of the videos. January 6th, January 4th, repertory theater. January 2nd was our video for dining. So I think a lot of it was engagements. You can see shows 13,000 reached, just about 1,500 engagements, link clicks, 169 during the boosted period. So you can definitely see that was kind of a bump. And then between that, we also had quite a bit of engagement on Sauce Magazine had their top 10 new restaurants. And we had at least, I think we had 2 in there. Actually, we might have had 3. We had Perennial on Lockwood. We had the changeover of ownership to Chiang Mai. And then I thought we had a 3rd one with O&O Pizza. But we kind of spread those out to get a little bit more of a boost. And we've had a lot of outside advertising, not advertising, but outside press, which has been really, really helpful. So just wanted to share that information to show, how big the numbers went up with not a huge amount of promotions through Facebook.
Good deal. Yeah, it's cool to see the videos having an impact on it, especially the Webster U ones.
Anything else you want me to? I'll stop sharing because it's a little easier for you guys to see each other. But anything else you need from the page? Because this is the back side of the page that you guys don't normally see.
I know you do those contests. You did contests around Christmas, right? Did those have good compared to last year?
No, we had a much harder time. So we tried a photo contest to get photos with the different, decorations around the city or just holidays in general. We got very little response to that. So we kind of cut that off after one. We were going to do it twice. We did get a lot more when we were doing it for essential workers. And we did give away to 2 essential workers with people promoting that. But no, not the same as last year. In fact, I think more just posting about different new businesses and did a lot more than doing the gift certificates this year.
If they need more content ideas, and I think that PR firm does a really good job on the website. I mean, it's just clean and nice. Personally, I am looking at what summer camps are going to be open. And I think a lot of other parents are probably hopefully optimistic in that same space. So that might be something to start promoting now as those schedules are being made and there's still spots to be had.
Yeah, definitely. And then I know a couple of the businesses are trying out some new things. Novel Neighbor is looking at kind of partnering of what is your neighbor reading and asking like other business owners and things. She's really in the early stages of looking at promoting that. I know they're also doing the warehouse sale again with a bunch of businesses together at Rolling Ridge. So that'll be something we can start promoting. There's quite a few other things that we can start working on, which is going to be really, really good.
Deal. Can you see, oh, sorry, you
Oh,
just clicked.
that's okay.
I know you said you were going to. Can you see that week before? I mean, just what Christmas looked like, or that week leading up to Christmas?
So that is, let's see, so this one, oh, you mean specifically what we posted or?
No, just the reach or I guess
Yeah, so if you go just to, so what date do you want? Like December?
Yeah, like maybe like the 13th, or just do a week, maybe like the
13th
16th through the.
Well, so if we do, sorry, January, December, the 13th through the 24th.
Sure.
So the reach, so again, really low for the actual organic, organic, we were getting 600 or so. And then the paid reach got us to around the 12 to 13,000.
Wow,
And then
that's
it
great.
jumped back off down at Christmas Eve.
Okay.
And then it looks like reactions and comments, there were a lot more right before, as you see the various reactions and comments and shares. And then same sort of thing, kind of different likes that we had. And then just total reach sort of similar in terms of content, about 14,000 once we added the paid in there.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. I know that's usually a big week for us.
Yeah, and then I know let's see, it's in this one. You can see down here, like right now, our 5 most recent posts, you'll see that this one has gotten a pretty huge reach, I think, on its own. It's the Ladue news about the annex. So that one got quite a bit of links and engagement, overall engagement, and we did not boost that one with any paid content. Some of the other ones a little bit smaller, and then you can see right now our engagement this week versus what they call similar ones. So Rebecca, so here's the chamber. You guys have you've got some bumps in there that you've got like an up 0.1% from last week, and we have a 0.5% from last week. It gives us kind of comparable other pages to watch. And then it suggests other pages for us to watch, see what else other people are doing.
Huh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Pages to watch. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it says like for us, maybe Discover St. Charles, Streets of St. Charles as possible ones to watch.
Mara, are there any similar ones that you think are really just like hitting it out of the park that you think are really impressive?
I barely have enough time to keep track of our business pages. Because I do follow, like I try to follow, which of course you have to do it on your personal page, which is kind of bizarre, but I try to follow like all the businesses that I can kind of, they have a Facebook page, let me like them. So I don't really have time to look at many other people's pages. I figure that
I don't blame you.
it's hard enough, and as I'm sure you all can keep seeing, it keeps popping up little things from other people because I also have other stuff on here. Yeah, they're kind of tied together. I can flip back and forth between watching this page and then my personal page, so it's kind of a bizarre, going back and forth. But I would say, overall, as a city one, I think we're pretty active. You know, she tries to schedule out. So there's in our ad center, let's see, I think she has, it kind of changed up a little bit. So it's been a little difficult, but she, it kind of shows like the different ads, and you can review the results of each individual ad that we've paid for and how much money we've spent on it, and what the reach was based on how much we spent. And then there's also somewhere in the, you can actually see where they're scheduled. So like she has ads already scheduled out for, you know, the next 3 weeks or something. So she'll, either I'll send her something or she'll send me something and go, oh, okay, I found this ad, are these good to go? And then she'll schedule them out for days. I just can't remember now anymore where the little thing is because they keep reorganizing the way the page is done. But I thought there was another place where I could see where her ones are scheduled out, but she has a number of them scheduled out for the time frame. And we always used to get a pretty big boost from events. And of course, we have like no events.
Mara, may I interrupt you?
Yes.
You move Jerry over to a panelist now.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
That's okay. You're discussing other things. I just saw it.
Yeah, no. When the screen's shared, I can't see that the panelists. So thanks for letting me know. So I think that's it right now. I'll hit stop share unless anyone has anything else.
No, I think that's good. Well, does anybody have anything else? I don't want
About
to.
how much do you pay a month for the social media firm that the city's hired?
It's $500 a month.
Okay, that's not bad.
Mm-mm.
Joanne, Jerry was on and now she's gone. Oh, wait, she's back again. Let me try again.
Okay.
Morning, Jerry.
Good morning.
We skipped ahead and went through some of the old business stuff, but I know that you had some visitor comments. Do you want to go ahead and get started, Mayor Walsh?
If you want me to do those now, fine. Otherwise, just keep your business going and I'll say something at the end.
Okay, that's fine. Let's see. I guess we're up on new business, which we really didn't have anything on the agenda, unless there's anything that anybody wants to bring up. I know I talked to Bob. He wants to talk about something at the next meeting, and we talked about that a little bit. But we'll add that to next month's agenda.
The only thing I can think of is, I know, Mara, you kind of went over some of the openings that are in progress and ones that you also heard about. Is there anything new to report, openings and closings?
So normally after new business, we go to business district updates and then my city updates. So that's normally where I'll tell you all the fun.
Good deal. Well, do you want to go into the business district updates?
Sure. So right now in the business district meetings, January is when we start talking about budget. So all three of them are discussing budget, making sure that they put in money for the BDC holiday package, making sure they put in things for social media, and then figuring out what they're going to do for their various events. Old Webster met and started discussing that briefly, and what they're going to put into their budgets. So each of them has a budget based on money that comes in from business licenses and from the taxes on the properties. And it just so happens that financial institutions don't regularly pay into it, but then all of a sudden we'll get like a surprise payment. And Old Webster has happened to get surprise payments the last, I think, 3 budget years in a row. And so this year, amazingly enough, their money that came in for their budget year for 2020 was $103,000, which was like, each year has been a little bit more because we've gotten these extra payments, but that's probably about 20,000 more than they normally get in. So I know they're looking at the The lights on the tops of the buildings, we did Rolling Ridge this holiday season and lit the top of their building. We're getting ready to look at lighting the new Olive and Oak. And then we're looking at in the budget, trying to see what lights we can maybe replace. They're also looking at trash cans, replacing some of the older ones there. We're getting budget numbers for that. And so they're working on some of those key things. Old Orchard is prepping and getting ready for their streetscape. We have all the utility poles have been moved from the north side of the street, from Novel Neighbor down to across from Subaru. All those poles have been moved that are going to be moved, and all the utilities have been moved. The water line has been moved out from under the sidewalk into the street with the new connections to the businesses. And we're just waiting on MoDOT's final approval before they can start with the contractor that they've selected. So we're thinking late March, early April. And then once we get a little bit closer, we'll figure out the timing of what we're going to do for that. Crossroads has been looking at, they did not get funding for their streetscape. So they've moved forward. We had a lot of debates with St. Louis County because it's their roadway and not ours. And so they are currently have an engineer, the same one that drew up the plans for the Old Orchard streetscape, is currently drawing up for the couple of blocks for them for some basic sidewalk improvements and other things. We're going to cost that out and then see what money can be used from the capital improvement fund that was already designated by the council to maybe do a first phase, maybe look at redoing at least the sidewalks and restriping with St. Louis County. They want to keep on-street parking on both sides of the street that doesn't keep changing as to whether, like, at what time of the day you can or can't park. And then just keep it 2 lanes of through traffic. It would help a lot with their walkability and their safety. So they'd be doing some bump outs and some other things like that. So that, I think, updates the 3 districts. Tim, anything I forgot with Old Webster?
No, I don't think so. I mean, benches were included with the trash cans.
Yes.
But
yep, costing out benches and trash cans just in case. And then, Mike, I can go on with some of the new businesses updates.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we have a business license in for DD Mao Vietnamese is going in where the Forenza Pizza used to be. They've got some permits in. They've got to take out the old pizza oven and redo that, but they will be going in that location. They are in Maryland Heights right now, and I believe this is going to be a second location. Union Bagels permits have been issued. You've probably seen that they've started some demo, but we're still working with us with their permits. They are going into the old Porter Paints location at Elm and Big Bend. And we're working with them on theirs. The fun part with that is, and I shared this with Crossroads, they are the front facade, for those that remember the orange and red diagonal stripes. They're doing a version of stripes again that's going to match the old stripes. I think in a different shade of colors. I think it's maybe 2 shades of blue. I don't know if I've seen it in color, but they're going to recreate those stripes for the front and then have Union and Bagel sign up at the top corner of the building. So that should be really fun. We have permits in for a new Wingstop restaurant down in Yorkshire Plaza. And we're working with them to get all their paperwork in so they can move forward with that. The property at the corner of Laclede Station and Big Bend that used to be the used car lot for the Subaru dealership is going to be a total access urgent care. They did get one of their variances for a setback off Big Bend. They've already been approved by the Architecture Review Board. They're working with MSD on stormwater. They did buy the property to the west also. So it's going to be slightly larger than just the used car lot. There's one other building that's almost right up against the street at Big Bend. And they've bought that property too for the building and their parking. And then they should be turning those things in for review in the next week or 2. Le Macaron, for those that were wondering, COVID delayed them quite a bit. They lost their funding and then they got new funding. So they are just working on the first floor of their building. They're not going to go into the basement as they originally planned, at least not now. And they've had their drywall nailing inspections there and a lot of their other rough plumbing, mechanical, electrical. So they should be coming pretty soon. I'm sure some of you saw on social media, just like I did, that we're getting Amy's Cake Shop, Cake Pops, Boozy Bites, something like that. I'm going to reach out and talk with her and make sure that she, you know, gets everything that she needs to move forward for that location. It's also a Big Bend. It looks like it's in the building where there was a visiting angels office use. So they were on the north side of the street. So we'll also make sure we loop them into the new construction that's happening on the streetscape, which I'm sure they're probably not aware of. And I'll be chatting with her as soon as I can. We are working on code amendments still before the Plan Commission. Monday night, we have single family residential amendments and 2-family residential, making some changes to the code for both of those. They're continuing public hearings that we will have on Monday night. Some of you might have heard we had on Monday night a conditional use permit for the other Subaru location north of the building on the north side of the street where they used to just keep cars. It's a 2-story brick building and then had a parking lot. They have asked to postpone at least a month. They're working out a lot of issues with St. Louis County and MSD possibly, and they're trying to debate whether they want to move forward with it's Lona's Little Eats from the city. And this was going to be their new second location. They originally had talked to me about just doing a restaurant. And then they couldn't make it work within the existing building. So then they went away and then they came back again. And then they decided that they wanted to try to build a new restaurant basically in alignment with the basement level of the existing building because it slopes down pretty considerably, and add a drive-through. So that's why it became a conditional use permit and not just hey, pull your building permits. So we're working with them and county, because it's Big Bend. County has a lot to do with what they would require for them to be able to go in with a drive-through. So they're going to keep looking at that. It might be that they go back to the no drive-through option, but we'll keep everybody informed when we have the next public hearing. Right now it's postponed to March, but it might end up being postponed even further as they continue to debate what their thoughts are. So I think that's all the businesses and all the stuff that we've got going on right now.
Hey, Mara, I missed the very first one. Do you mind repeating that?
Sure, DD Mao. It's the letter D, and then MAU, Vietnamese.
I was interested in that one too, just a little bit. Do you know any more about them? Is that their first space or is it somebody else?
This is their, hold on, I'll do a quick, hold on, I'll do a little quick screen share. So this is them. They are currently in Maryland Heights, and they are planning to open this as a second location, is my understanding. So they've got bowls, they've got sandwiches, pho, sliders, tacos, Vietnamese tacos.
What was that space?
Say that again?
What was that space?
The former Forenza Pizza. And I know Forenza was really sad that they, you know, if they basically had said if they'd probably been open maybe 4 or 5 months earlier, they probably could have survived through all of this, but it was just, they just hadn't been open long enough to be able to survive through everything that was going on.
They were so nice. I felt so sad for them.
Yeah, definitely. But yes, so this is who's going in.
Good deal. Laura, do you have any city updates that you can let us know?
Yeah, thank you, Mike. I do have a couple of things. First of all, our new city manager has hit the ground running, is well underway, getting acclimated, meeting with staff, meeting with council, trying to learn as much about us as possible. And I think as time goes on, we'll have some good ideas about things that we might improve on what we're doing. I also want to take this opportunity to say on behalf of all of us, thank you to Joanne, who worked about 5 jobs during her interim city manager time and did a fantastic job. So we are all grateful to her for that. The second thing is the council at our last meeting voted to send a use tax to residents in the April municipal election. The use tax is the vehicle we as a city use to collect internet sales tax. And so this is hopefully going to level the playing field a little bit for our small businesses in town as we go forward in what is a really competitive internet environment. I want to say thank you to Rebecca, who sent us a letter, and it was nice to see finally in the Webster Kirkwood Times, not just anti-use tax statements, but a good explanation of why this is important for our community. We're going to have to figure out how to advocate, or not advocate. I can't advocate. You can advocate as business owners. I can't advocate, but I can inform residents about how this would be a good idea. So we need to think about an education plan for our community before that April election, so that people understand what the process is, why we're doing it, and how it affects those businesses very directly. And I don't know, Mayor, you may be here for that. The one other thing that I hope that the mayor will explain, because I unfortunately was not at the meeting, one other thing that has come up is a real desire from our different business committees and organizations, the business districts, the trade association, to try and figure out if we can do a better job coordinating our activities and marshaling resources. And so am I right, Jerry? Is that what you're here to talk about? Then I'm not going to say any more about it because Jerry was at that meeting, and I'll defer to her on that.
Sounds good. Rebecca, I did see your chat that you had something to bring up with the chamber there. And so do you want to go ahead and let us know?
Sure, absolutely. Is it okay if I share my screen for a second? Can somebody authorize me?
I think, Mara, you have to do that, right?
And while she's getting me set up for that, we're not doing a Heart of the Community event in February as we do annually, because it's just not the time to do an in-person event. So I got it. So we came up with a one-time alternative. Can you see my screen? Creativity in Crisis. Okay, so we're going to do a virtual event, and we feel the need to recognize people in the community who have done creative things. And we're looking for nominations, and this would be creative citizens, and there's all kinds of stuff out there, and creative businesses who have added things. And this is our webpage for that. I have a paper nomination form. We're hoping to do it either in mid-March or mid-April, depends on if Webster Arts will concur with us as a partner for this event, because we might do an art contest as well. But I really need a community partner to do that. But I think it's going to be fun. I've got a great award that's going to be a wrapped canvas that says Creativity in Crisis, so that we can honor maybe 3 citizens, 3 businesses, a nonprofit organization. And I'm sure everyone can think of somebody who's been creative, whether it was Porch Fest, whether it was yoga in the park. I even saw in Mara's sharing that the Theater Guild did caroling. I mean, those things are creative, and these people need to be recognized. So if you think of anybody, I want you to be aware of this, and you can either go there today for the paper nomination, or I should have an electronic nomination up by close of business today. So I hope you will participate and give people recognition.
Great.
Good deal. Thanks for sharing that. Mayor Welsh, do you want to go ahead and let us know what you want to?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for having me this morning. I wanted to speak to you after the last Old Webster Trade Association meeting, and I know Laura was unable to attend, or I would have passed this on to her. But there was a lot of conversation about a need to have all of the businesses in this community get together in some sort of way. probably informally as well as formally. And as you know, having long been the liaison to the Business Development Commission, that this was one of the goals of the Business Development Commission was to do this. And they had asked that perhaps even having some sort of Zoom forum where everyone could meet everyone, talk together. And I know that's hard to do if you have an awful lot of folks, but I think we need to begin to think about that. Ways in which we can bring all of the businesses together. And there are an awful lot of folks who are not in the business districts. You have Yorkshire Plaza, you have all those businesses along Marshall Avenue. You've got some folks on Watson Road. And so I think if you all could begin to think about that as a goal and how we do that. We did a couple of business forums at some point that we had at the recreation complex, and it brought out some, but in even pulling together the heads of the various groups and the various organizations, I'm throwing that out there because I think going back to that as a goal for establishing the Business Development Commission is really a hearty one. Now, I've been away from y'all for a while, so maybe there is some discussion, but there was such a heartfelt need coming out of the old Webster Trade Association about getting together that I really felt like I had to convey this to you. Son. Good
deal. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good idea as far as trying to get everybody together on a Zoom, or I guess that's probably the best option, right now, something like that. So what do you guys think the best way to set something like that up would be?
What sort of access do we have to those businesses that are not part of any sort of trade out there? The Watson businesses, the Yorkshire. I mean, is this going to need to be something that we knock on doors for? Or you think we'd get a response from them?
We have a constant contact email list that Fran keeps up. So when we get new businesses, if they give us an email address, and if they don't opt out, sometimes we'll send something out and they just don't want another email, so they'll opt out. But we have it all organized, and Fran's organized it and sorted it by different tags. So the home businesses, when we send something out that really should be to brick and mortar, it doesn't go to home businesses, and things vice versa. But she's got them based on business district if we need to do it something specific, whether it's a home business, and just has overlaps of the different elements.
Fran, you can see the information on Constant Contact when people are opening it too, can't you? I mean,
can.
are
Yes,
you
I
getting,
can.
when you send something out, generally speaking, are people looking at them, or what's?
Yeah, I just recently sent one out to all of the brick and mortar retail businesses about the Webster warehouse sale that started in the old Webster Trade Association, being organized by 2 of their members, but we're opening it up to everybody. So that, because of the tags, that only went to about 70 businesses. That got an immediate response of opening it up. I mean, within minutes. But then other things will get maybe 50%. The number of unsubscribes is really not as bad as you would think, because I checked that too. And that initially, a couple of years ago, it was a lot, but it's really stopped. It's funny when you look at the ones that unsubscribed, it's some of the folks that you still need to hear the information, but they're just, swamped with emails. It really depends on who the target is.
Mm-hmm.
I get information from the front desk. Every time off the business license reports. So they'll give me the email address and whether it's commercial or home, and they'll give me the address. And I look them all up to see where they are. So I will add a tag. This is in Yorkshire. I've added a business neighborhood for where Maypop is. So it allows us to segment who we're sending stuff to. But the key is it's only the ones that have supplied us with an email, and they don't all do that.
Do we have a lot of them that have it? I mean, I understand like maybe the home-based businesses, but most of the brick and mortar, I would think, would have email
Most of
address.
them do. And what I've found is the person that's on the business license and their email is not necessarily the person that needs to see what we're sending out. It's not always the business owner.
Mhm.
It's someone that's processing the business license.
So are you seeing more of a disengagement with, kind of longtime existing businesses or more of the new businesses that are coming on?
It's a mix, actually. But it's not a high number.
Yeah, I wonder if there's, I think like some sort of private forum for the business owners would be really nice, whether it's just like, a email thread or maybe a private Facebook group, something like that. So they could delegate to whoever would be the appropriate person to share kind of best practices.
So we already
But I wonder if,
Kara, just really quick, we do have a private Facebook page already. And then just also know, I think the disengagement has gone down a lot because we have really been careful about the emails we send out. We try not to just send random ones out. So by keeping it at a minimum, not sending something out every week, I think that has really helped with the disengagement. But we definitely have a private Facebook page already.
Okay. Do you think there would be any appetite for almost like a mentorship program for new businesses where they could connect with someone who's willing to do it and existing and has been successful and, just how to navigate stuff and marketing and connecting with the community, things like that? I know that's a lot to ask of existing businesses too, but.
I'm wondering if if the BDC should maybe set up a small subcommittee to talk about this in greater detail. Jerry was talking about some efforts we had made years ago to try to get people together for simple things like breakfasts. And I think we did about 2 or 3 of those. And we've tried a number of things to pull the disparate parts of this group together. And kind of hit or miss results, wouldn't you say, Jerry? I think sometimes it was all right. We knew we flooded them with too many emails early on, and they had a problem with that. Do you think that would be helpful if several of us sat down and thought about it in detail and maybe came back to the BDC?
I think I would definitely support that, because I was thinking about that, because that is probably the major goal of the Business Development Commission, was to pull everybody together to try to speak as one voice for the business community and that piece, I think, needs to be addressed. You may be doing that, I don't know, but that really has been the goal of creating this group, is to speak with one voice for the business districts, to try to bring the resources of all these groups together. Right now you have money being spent at 3 different business districts. You have other folks out there. If there were a way to be able to kind of pull those resources together and use them effectively. You have the chamber there, everybody's spending a little bit of money here and there on things, and how good it would be to organize that.
It'd be beneficial though if a subcommittee is formed to really pull in somebody, have a cross committees group, working group to do that. Because again, I was unable to be at that meeting, but it sounded like there were some ideas generated at the trade association. And so if the goal really is for coordination, the planning should include these other groups as well.
Agree. And you have chairs of 3 basic organizations, and it would be useful to pull them together and I agree. I think it would be a good way to go forward.
Yeah, I think so. Should we start a subcommittee then? Who wants to be on the, like a Unity Among Businesses subcommittee?
I would.
I'll do
I said
it.
Rebecca, Pam, Kara.
Wait a minute. Go
I'm
back. People are raising their hand while I'm looking down. So do that one more time. Who said I would? Okay, Kara, Rebecca, Tim.
Kim.
So now you have Tim from Old Webster. We have Rebecca from the Chamber, Kara with all that wonderful PR background that she has, which is an organizational ability. She's a great one to add to the committee. Think about someone from Old Orchard, Crossroads. Who could you invite to join?
And Fran, I'm not sure I count as a member, but I would like to participate in these.
You always count.
Well, thank you.
Good deal. Well, yeah, and then I think you guys on the subcommittee maybe figure out, who we can bring in from Old Orchard, Crossroads, stuff like that. Looking who's on those trade associations and would be beneficial.
Well, the disadvantage for them is they do not have merchant organization in Old Orchard anymore. It died
Oh, they
several
don't?
years ago. So Old Webster is the only one that has a trade organization.
Okay.
So grab someone from the taxing district who's active in that, in the Old Orchard area, and grab someone from Crossroads who's active in the area. It doesn't necessarily have to be the president, but grab them and put them together. And feel free to use me, and I'll volunteer Pam as a resource, because, we've been there in the early days of this organization or of this particular commission. And I'm always happy to help you with that.
Good deal. Well, let's talk about that a little bit at next meeting. Maybe adding that on the new business. Are there any other things that we want to add on for next agenda?
I'll have an update on the videos by then, but
Yes, and we'll want to discuss the budget. I'll put something together and present it to the group in February.
I also might, I don't know if we decide to do anything to help out camps. I know Webster has dozens of camps, and I'm trying to round that up to figure out if they're happening or if they're happening virtually, like some of the music ones might, or if they're just not happening at all. So that's still up in the air. I'm hoping by March we know.
And at a certain point, there's usually a roundup in one of the newspapers. So putting that onto the website, because it's going to have ours in there too.
Yeah, I think Webster Groves Neighbors has already reached out, and I'm pretty sure I saw something from Webster Kirkwood Times, and that's what made me be like, oh crap, camps. We need to figure out if we're having those.
And usually the Post Dispatch has one. The main reason I remember it is that I think it was like 4 years ago or 5 years ago, my kid was on the front page of that section at Camp Weebajee for Webster. So we had a lot of press that year. But we're usually in that in the St. Louis Post Dispatch. So that's another option too. So we'll just try to keep our eyes out for those.
Yeah, I think a lot of the camps are trying to go this summer. I know I got an update from Ackerman's and their swim camp they're signing up for. I'm on the board of Mid-County Y, and they're offering discounts for signing up for camp early, which I think there's still a discount going on for that right now, maybe through the end of the month. But they said they had more people sign up so far in January compared to last January, which was pre-pandemic. So that's kind of interesting too. So
there were no camps. I was just going to take my kids and drop them off at Blackburn with a paper map and see what they could figure out.
let them run around, play Lord of the Flies.
Here's this an old school clock and a paper map. See it 5. Let's see if it can work it.
There have to be camps this summer, right? We have to figure something out for them. So, good deal. I know what Bob wanted to talk about a little bit, and he was gonna maybe try and get together somebody on sustainability committee, but he wanted to discuss ESG, so environmental, social, and governance. Maybe what we can do to help out business owners with that. So we'll add that onto the agenda next month too.
Mike, will you, I'm unfamiliar with that, and I'm also the liaison to the Sustainability Commission.
Yep. So very early stages on that. I just got him in touch with Eric Leaders because I knew that Eric was on there. And that's pretty much as far as that's gone at this
Okay,
point.
so Eric knows about it, so good. That
He does. Yep.
And you call that ESG?
Yep. Environmental, social, and governance is what it
Environmental.
looked for. So kind of social welfare, environmental type of stuff, a lot of things. It would pair well with sustainability committee. But do you guys have anything else you'd like to discuss or talk about?
Yeah, I'm going to be pushy. And I'm going to suggest that we get together at least a couple of folks who have agreed to serve on this overall subcommittee, so that when they come to the meeting next month, they have some idea of what their charge is, how they're going to organize, who they're going to include, so that rather than we have another discussion about this, we actually come forward with some planning. So if it would be all right, Laura has agreed, Rebecca and Kara, how about if the four of us get together, try to put something together so that next month's BDC has actually some plans in this area. What I heard was so strong that I don't want to drop this.
And
If that's okay.
If you coordinate the meeting, if you just know what time, so I can make sure I publicize the agenda, et cetera,
Right.
that would be great.
Is that okay with you, Laura?
Absolutely.
And Rebecca and Kara?
Yes.
We're going to do it. Okay, thank you.
What about me, Jerry?
Oh, and Tim, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Tim. I'm
What
sorry.
about the
I didn't look down. There you are. Am I? Yes, and Tim, of course.
Let's do it Thursday, the 4th of February, so we get a jump on it. What do you think? Anyway, you'll get in touch with us.
Yes, we're going to figure this out. Thursday, the 4th of February sounds good. Laura and I will talk about a time and see
Okay.
what we can do to get the five of us together and get this moving. Thank
Just
you.
please make sure you coordinate it with me, because the time is,
Yes,
we'll have to make sure that Zoom is available at that time.
right. We always have to do that. Yes, thank you.
All right,
And I'm
good
just
deal.
going to throw in a very quick commercial. I'm going to put in the comments, but our diversity conference registration is open. It's free. It's all virtual this year. Webster.edu conversations, if you wanted to register. We've got some good speakers, so check
It
it out.
does look like a great lineup of things, John.
Yeah, we've got
Yeah.
our two keynotes. We've got Patrice Cullors, who's one of the founders of the Black Lives Matter movement. And the other keynote is Charlotte Clymer, who's really well-known in the trans community. So
But I noticed the agenda over 3 days because I signed up on it. It's so diverse. I mean, you've got all kinds of
yeah, we
inclusion
kind of
there.
figured nobody's going to want to sit and watch a Zoom for 3 days, but they'll want to pick and choose the things that appeal most to them. So we could really, really run the gamut of all the topics, knowing that people are going to pick what they're most interested in.
Yeah. Good deal.
Hey, Mike, one final comment. We moved on rather quickly from the Creativity and Crisis Awards, but I just thumbs up for that, and to Rebecca, that I thought that was fantastic. And I think
Oh, thank you.
to promoting a local business, and if it was some, if a local business ends up getting recognition as a result of that, I think we should on social media and
It's not just businesses. I mean, businesses
I
are
understand.
important. I think of, Robust, who added juices and bone broth. That was, to me, that was creative, but the Porch Fest and all kinds of stuff, they need to be recognized. So
I
I hope you all will nominate somebody. We have a dynamic committee of 5 people for a Zoom event. That's pretty good. And it's going to be fun. Thank you, Andrew.
Will you send that link? I know you put the link on the chat.
Yes.
Email the link out, and then Jennifer, do you
Sure.
mind doing that as well?
No, not at all.
Okay, good deal. Anybody else have anything to add real quick, or we're good? All right, well, next meeting's February 25th. You guys will have that subcommittee meeting before that, and so we'll have good updates there, and I think we have a nice agenda for the 25th as well. Nobody else has anything else. Let's go ahead and adjourn. Everybody have a great day.
Bye, guys. Have a good day.
You too.
Thanks. Take care.